Happy holidays, and thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. This is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we celebrate listening at an elevated level. Our show today is fashion, travel, and fitness, and my co-host and friend DIANN FLOYD has the day off. We are super excited to welcome back a guest who has been here before. She's been extremely busy traveling the world, helping other people. And we're going to be hearing her story as she's reporting live from Italy. Let's welcome the founder of Eurway Tours, Juanita Harvin. Welcome. Join us.
Hello, Miss Jacalyn. How are you?
Hi, so nice to see you. And there you are on location somewhere. Tell us where you are, and then we'll get into the backstory of what you've been doing.
Oh, I am so happy. This is my happy place. I am in the Stubele in the one of the dining rooms here at the Hotel of Valdo. This is my happy place. This is a family-owned hotel, restaurant, wellness area. The family Letsuo just invites us in. And in the middle of Italy, in the northern parts of the Dolomites, this is a little town called Araba, and this area around here is called Fodum. And so a lot of the people here, I mean, this is what my window looks like when I look out my window at night. I have a lovely suite. I have the best Italian food, but I am just so happy to be here in Italy, even with a lot of the travel that you've got to do to get here and all of the precautions. When you get here, this is wonderful.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You look very happy and filled with joy. Tell us, how did you get involved in the travel business?
Wow. I was a Dodds educator overseas. We were living overseas. I'm actually German. My mom's German. My dad's side's American. My husband was in the military, and so we were in Europe. And as a Dodds educator, all of a sudden, the jobs were less and less. So I had to reconstruct all of that. And I ended up saying, oh, let me use my second language of German. So I got hired as a protocol specialist with the military. And I was a translator for EUCOM and AFRICOM. And there is where I learned so much of the etiquette, the protocol, and being in a host nation, and actually assisting other people in learning about the different cultures. So as Americans, we're all over the world, but then we have to know how to act appropriately and be those ambassadors that they really look forward to. And before I knew it, it was almost time to retire. And my kid said, oh, Mom, you're not ready to retire? Take people with you if you're going back to Germany. So we did retire to Florida, but I come back to Europe. I bring folks to Europe, and I send them all over the world as I began Eurway Tours back in 2018. Of course, that difficult time hit us right afterwards, but we stayed up and above. And thank goodness for a lot of the internet, a lot of the Zoom things. We could do virtual tours and explain to people, hey, these are places you can come to. So I really am a travel enthusiast, as some people would say it, but growing up overseas, it's a whole different thing. Things are so much closer that you can go and visit people and experience the different cultures. So if you're right in the middle of Europe, you can get to 5 countries within 5 hours. So from Germany, we head out to any of those areas.
Well, congratulations for thriving and surviving throughout the pandemic. And here you are today. I love your backstory also. That's very interesting. And so in addition to providing tours and helping people travel, you actually have done some volunteer work, a substantial amount. Tell us about that.
Oh, goodness. Sometimes I think it just happens as, my parents always said, help when you can. And over in Germany, I help and assist the Franziskusstube, which is a breakfast kitchen that serves the homeless. And Sister Margaret, I've been helping her do this almost 10 years now. I help and get the American volunteers to come on Saturdays to help feed the homeless. Well, from one thing to the next, even though I've left, Sister Margaret still has me run the volunteer system. And so when I'm here, I work at the Franziska Stube in Stuttgart, Germany. But when the war broke out in Ukraine, all of a sudden, when we were here in Europe, we saw a different scene. And so the first thing we could say was, oh, we've got to go help. And one of my photographers, Hyla Ernst, oh my goodness, bless her heart, she saw something on Facebook and said, hey, there's a mother needing baby food, diapers, because she took in all these other families. And before she knew it, she was taking people with donations up to the Polish border. After that, I just riled up my folks in Florida, and my Rotary Club, the Pensacola Subwest Florida Rotary Club, they donate $10,000. And so we were able to buy items, food, medical supplies, and we ran 2 buses up to the border to bring the supplies up and then to bring some of the refugees back. So with that, I thought, oh my gosh, did not think I could do all of these things. But thank goodness, Sister Margaret says, if there's a will, there's a way. And all the things besides, she wanted us to help her find, vests to help her sisters who are over in Ukraine and Lviv that have a orphanage. I'm sitting there thinking, how am I going to go get some, security or some, bulletproof vests and stuff for these nuns? I'm sitting there thinking, yeah. And so people keep asking, how are you going to keep doing? I says, how do you say no to a nun? And she always has things. So now we're raising money to help defuse some of those bombs and traps that are there in those areas, and still sending supplies. We just packed up 250 shoe boxes with donations for the kids' Christmas boxes that had a chocolate Santa Claus, some gloves, scarves, hats that were hand knitted by some of the German volunteers. A lot of our American volunteers had crayons and coloring books and little matchbox cars and all types of things that went into these boxes. And of course, some hygiene items and things, but stuffed those boxes full. So we just finished that, and we sent 250 of those to some of the children there in Ukraine. And one of the towns that I went to go visit was Utskarot. And I was proud to be able to bring supplies and things there, thanks to Sister Margaret and her assistants, and many of the Ukrainian refugees that are in Germany that helped us get that done. And especially, the Pensacola Subwest Rotary for their support, and for Caritas, which is the organization in Germany that's been sending many, many supplies over in that direction.
Juanita, congratulations. This is outstanding, the work you've been doing. And I have to say, you put a spotlight on something that I've heard people say when you're talking about volunteering. People say, nobody needs me. They already have people, or what could I possibly do? Or how am I going to get involved? And you just said, hey, I'm getting involved. And so for people who are out there who have time and they can make a difference, how can people get involved in your mission and what you're doing?
Well, I do work with other folks, and like I said, the NGO that we work with, and we post that on Facebook. So every little bit helps. It does not matter. Sometimes it's just a donation. We do have a spot fund where people can volunteer and donate some monies, and then it goes to our Helping Hands Stuttgart is on Facebook. And that's where many of the military spouses and many of the folks in Germany get the funds and utilize those to purchase stuff to take over there. We have an NGO in Texas that we work with, and we have that up on our website as well. But we're just amazed at for people that want to help. Look in your own neighborhood, even where I'm at. In Pensacola, I saw people that were collecting monies to send generators over to Ukraine. In Pensacola, I thought, oh, wow, see? So look in your neighborhoods, even in your part of the country, somewhere, somebody's got a Ukrainian friend or someone that's in need. And don't forget about the people in your own towns. Sometimes it's just a matter of, I make a little gift bag. I go get socks at Sam's Club. I put a tuna sandwich or some tuna dip or crackers and some coupons for McDonald's into a bag. And when I see homeless folks out on the corner, it's so easy. So don't forget about looking for the folks in your area too. But be aware that there are lots of great big organizations, UNICEF and CARE and all those folks that are out there doing that. But those are on big scales, and so we try to go find those little corners where the NGO gets in there. And so, for example, when we go to Utskarot, we've got a hospital that we take medical supplies to, or we have what they call orphaned homes. They're not orphanages. The orphan homes are larger homes that the government has helped make them larger to have extra bedrooms. And a family then is allowed to have 10 children in that orphan home. And so here we brought, lots of cookies and candies, things that they won't get for Christmas unless somebody gets those. They're just surviving. Right now, the heat, oh my goodness, to get just heat, they're running around at home with 2-3 sweatsuits on and stuff because heat is very expensive, the electricity and things like that. So a lot of them are at home sometimes at night with candle lights and stuff. And so a lot of places, that's where we'll bring things like that they can utilize. But look at your own area, but you'll look up our Spot Fund or Helping Hands Stuttgart is where we have all of the Spot Fund collection areas and where you can donate goods or you can mail items. We're always looking for any kind of boots, green, black, blue, all those kinds of things to assist our folks that are over in the Ukraine area, hats, gloves, dark colored items, and a lot of times we have people that just mail that to us. And that's great. Gosh, we've had stewardesses, flight attendants that have volunteered, and they've been up there in DC and New York, and they've stuffed their suitcases full just to drop it off at the Stuttgart airport for us. So we are just so blessed. If anybody can do anything at all, look us up. We are the project for the refugees in the Ukraine area.
Once again, I just applaud what you're doing, and I love the passion and enthusiasm you have for it. It's really tremendous. We do have a comment from one of our loyal followers. Tarek, nice to have you with us. Where in the world are you today? Good morning, Merry Christmas. And I trust Tarek, so I think this is probably, I don't know. Do you know what this says?
Oh, Bon Natal, that's Merry Christmas in Italian. And something about the Americans being in Italy, welcoming us. We are just so happy to be here.
So Juanita, let's talk a little bit about how you bring joy to people in terms of travel. Many times people want to go somewhere, and when they get to the destination, they're not sure what to see, how they can see it. And you really assist people in terms of providing your knowledge and your expertise. Also, what to expect when you're traveling to other countries because you've experienced it. So tell us more about how you work with people.
I pride on sending folks to areas that I do know, but if I don't know, I find out for them. So I do a lot of personalized work for folks. So sometimes, some folks say high maintenance tourist or traveler, but sometimes folks have never been to a foreign country or somewhere. So I always assist with them, always making sure that they've learned some of the culture. So I send them little informations about what to expect. You don't want to be embarrassed going somewhere. When you're traveling out and about as an American, you're an ambassador. And that is so, so important. But just making sure you're ready as a traveler. I've got some folks on the road right now. I look and check with them to see, did you get your transfer? Did you get on the train? Do you have the tickets? I print maps for them ahead of time. I give them directions on, yep, you're going to get picked up by this limo system and they're going to take you directly here or there. So a lot of the personalized part, some people are afraid to travel, but if you've got a travel agent or somebody like me to help you get through those steps, you enjoy travel. But my big thing is when I get people out there to travel, I tell them always, and I think that's one of the big reasons I started my company, was it can be affordable. It doesn't have to be that expensive. Now, it's a whole different thing if you travel alone. Try to always have a travel buddy with you or grab the family. Now, just make sure you let them know ahead of time how long you'll be gone, how much the trip costs, if they can be away that long, and those types of things. And as we're out traveling about, there are still some safety issues. So on the airplane, folks, I'm still wearing that mask. There's lots of people, it's not mandatory, but in a lot of areas, it is still mandatory. If you go into an apotheke, a pharmacy, you must wear a mask. If in Germany or anywhere in Europe, you are on the train or the S-Bahn or the trolley or the bus, you must wear a mask, okay? And it's just one of those precautionary measures, but they are still very, very careful. So when you're traveling, I explain those types of things to my folks. I give them lots of maps and lots of info things that they have. I give them information. So for example, when you are out and about and you're in a different country, find out what's the currency. What are they using there? Is it euro? Is it dollars? Or is it something else? The first thing they all have to do, they've got to make sure, have a passport and it's valid, so that that passport has a valid number and it must not expire within 6 months. That's the big part. So when you're out and about, again, ask your travel agent or your travel agency, do they have any flyers? Oh, there's all kinds of brochures that we can get for you. If there's a specific thing that you'd like to do, tell your travel agent. Or that's what I tell my folks. Where do you want to go? Not where, oh, this trip is going here, this trip is going there. You don't always have to take that cookie cutter trip. You can say, we've lived in Europe or our kids were born there. We just want to go back, show them where they lived at, or show them the neighborhood, or just to go visit some friends. And so that's always nice. Travel tips I give them on my website, on Facebook. Every week, we've got Fun Fact Friday. Today was Nutcracker Day. What is a nutcracker? One of the Christmas things. Here, on this side over here, you see a small schwebogen. Okay, not even pointing to it right. That's a little light, says Frohe Weihnachten, and it's a little schwebogen, which is a little light, and it's got these little cut things, cut sceneries from the Christmas market. So right now, that is one of the trips that I advise folks during the winter. If you're not a winter person, well, if you don't ski, it's okay. It is a beautiful time to be in Europe for all those Christmas markets. And that's where I've been sending a lot of people to. You don't have to just be walking tours. You can do the Christmas market on a cruise. So you're on a cruise on a small ship, not like the big cruises in the Caribbean, but you're on a small ship and you're going down the Rhine or Neckar River. And every few hours, you'll stop in a town and you'll see so many beautiful Christmas lights. This year, because of the safety and trying to save energy, many of the Christmas lights do not stay on past midnight. So that beautiful, beautiful scenery that you like to see in those towns that have all of the beautiful pictures of the towns and the churches lit up and all that, a lot of that has been cut down so that those are turned off at midnight. When you're traveling, that money, don't carry a lot of cash. Your credit card works wonders, and it's a good way for you to track what you have spent. One of the best cards, that American Express card, woohoo! I love my Delta miles, love my American Express, because by the time I get home, I see what I've spent. The exchange rate is better. Don't ever buy money at the airport. Oh gosh, the exchange rate is scary. And to keep me organized, because I'm always back and forth, I always have all those coins. So I got me one of these coin exchange. See, it's a coin holder, and this is where I keep all of my euro. Oh, let me tell you, the Europeans love it when I come up and I have exact change. So this is something you can get an auto repair store or auto parts store and things like that. It's on the internet. You'll find these. It's just a euro holder of money. And so this is a great thing to do when you're going around. just having a little bit of cash for certain things. But if you're going to make some major purchases or you're in little towns, that's where they're going to use the cash more than they would the credit card. Don't be surprised. Sometimes you're going to get a credit card charge at some places, but it's well worth it because of the coverage and the insurance. And when I talk about insurance, do not forget, buy travel insurance. You never know what may happen. People in my day used to think, oh, I only had travel insurance if I was going to cancel my trip. And they're like, oh, no, I'm not canceling my trip. That's not what travel insurance is for these days anymore. That travel insurance is to protect you. If I'm out here on the slopes of Araba, I'm going around the Dolomiti Mountains on the Selorunda, and we're talking about thousands of kilometers of skiing, and I'm hours away from my hotel and get hurt. Who's going to come and get me? Who's going to get me to the hospital? Who's going to take me back home to the United States? That's what travel insurance is for, so that they will get you safely back home. They'll make sure you're okay. You get to the hospital, and they'll make sure that whoever's with you knows where you're at, or they'll make sure that you're united with your family and you'll have a safe way to get back home. So don't forget about that travel insurance.
Amazing tips that you're sharing. I have to just say, I worked selling meetings and events for groups for years. And I think what people don't realize is whether you're a group or individual, things happen and you're in another country and you need resources. You need somebody who can actually tell you what to do. Like, for example, people traveling in the United States on the East Coast with this huge storm that's coming. So imagine you're from a different country and there's a storm coming. You need to have somebody with expertise like you to be able to call and say, hey, the trains are not running. I can't get to the, like, what are some things that I could do? What do I need to know? And I love that tip about not getting currency at the airport. You'll see long lines of people waiting. It's like, no, 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 don't do it. It's so you have to plan in advance. And again, people don't think that something's going to happen because they're in a different mindset. Like, oh, I'm on a trip. Everything's great. No, everything's not always great. We hope it is. But just in case those times when it's not, you have that peace of mind and that assurance from working with you.
Yes. And a lot of people don't realize your credit card, when you're in a foreign country and you have a PIN for your credit card, you can use a foreign country ATM at a bank, not just out somewhere at the gas station, but at a bank somewhere. And lots of them will say international. When you go and get cash off of your credit card, it's in their money. It's not in dollars. So if you're in England, you get pounds. If you're in Europe, you get the euro. So and you get the exact and sometimes a better exchange rate.
Wow, that's one I didn't even know. How about that? That's fantastic. So tell us, in your experience, where you are today. You mentioned about skiing and the quaintness of the town. Tell us some other things that people might not know about that they should consider taking a trip there.
So here at the Hotel of Aldo, it's a family centered hotel. And as you know, we are a ski group. We come the week before Christmas. So the Europeans, this is a hint for almost anywhere in Europe, the Europeans usually go on vacation right after the 26th. That's when they go on vacation. So if you're willing to travel before Christmas or right on Christmas Day, or the weeks before Christmas are some of the best times to come to Europe because most Europeans wait till after the holiday. So you can get some really good sales and things. The other good thing that I've noticed, we've been coming here since, 1999. And, now that we're in America, we try to come every other year, but people say, oh my gosh, you're going to spend all that money. You got to fly there. And then you got to go rent skis. Then you got to go get the ski lift tickets. Let me tell you, here in Super Ski, and that's the area here in Dolomites, the Dolomiti Super Ski, it is not expensive. So when you're talking about an airplane flight Here, we might have flown, some of our folks flew into Venice. So you can take a few days and go experience Venice. The shuttle will come and pick you up and then drive you up here in this beautiful mountain area. And a ski lift ticket. So, for example, I bought a 4-day ski lift ticket. My daughter was out there, and she was out there for approximately 180 euro. That's like $190 for 4 days of super ski, the entire Celarunda, 4,000 plus kilometers of skiing. So you can just keep going. If you don't trust yourself, you don't want to go too far out, they have these, they have day skis, but they have points. So you just use your points. And a point ticket. So, for example, we've got a point ticket for 2,500 points was 150 euros, which is about $160. Very inexpensive. So I didn't need to schlep my stuff from America over. I did rent some, I do snowblading. My kids do snowboarding, and then you have some folks that just ski. And my snowblades are just like miniature skis. So I rented those, and for 4 days, it would cost me 65 euro. That was for the poles, for the snow blades, and I was 65. That's like $70. When I go back and look and try to compare that to some of the skiing in Lake Tahoe or up at Whistler, okay, I got to save up for those. And so skiing here in Europe is less expensive. And that's what I like about it, because just a side trip somewhere, you can rent a van, you can get an international license. You don't have to, have a German or Italian license at all. And so you can get an international license there in the USA at AAA. Cost you about $20, but you have to have a valid American license. And then you just kind of study up on those signs. So here in Italy, we love the food. So when you're in most hotels, it's what we call Halbpension. What that means is you have your breakfast included, and when you come back, usually you'll have lunch up on the mountain in these lovely, lovely mountain, and they call them huts. It's not a hut. They are beautiful little restaurants, and you just kind of ski over to them. So that's where you'll have lunch. But when you come back down, your Halbpension at your hotel that you've paid for your room, that would also be included with a huge dinner. They have some of the best food. I'm a picky eater, but let me tell you, I eat almost anything. Oh, let me try it. From the aubergine, they have all kinds of vegetables and mushrooms and anything you can think of. And like last night, we had a buffet of traditional foods from this Araba area called FLOYD. So we learned some new things. We had pheasant, we had rabbit, we had all kinds of things, and it's just delicious. The cooks here, this is a caliber of cooking in most of these European places that you will not find anywhere else. The people are so friendly. They speak every language you can think of. But when we come down, we have different types of breads that the Italians, that they bake for us. Here in Europe specifically, most of your breads are fresh. There are no preservatives. So they don't last a couple of days like some of our American food. So everything is very fresh. Lots of olive oil, balsamico, it's like, ooh. And the seafood is different here too.
Juanita, I'm starving right now. I'm like, oh my gosh. I love what you said about bread, because it's so true here in the States. You buy bread 2 days later, it's no good. It's hard as a rock, or even the bagels. So it sounds like you get to eat really well. You get great exercise. You're outside with nature. And you mentioned super ski. What is that for somebody like me who doesn't know?
So the super ski is that's what they call this area. And Super Ski is like the company that runs all of the lifts. People may not realize, when some of these lifts here are not state-owned, they're privately owned. But the system here called Super Ski, the Dolomiti Super Ski, means it's like a pass that you are eligible to go all around and use all of these private ski areas, and they're all rolled into one. And when you have your Super Ski pass that you usually keep in your jacket or whatever, you just pass by, it will count up where you've used your lift at, where you've gone. So at the end of the day, you go to the Dolomiti Super Ski website, put in your ticket number, and they track it, just like if you had an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. So that's the ski system, the Dolomiti Super Ski. That's what it's called here in the Araba, Corvara, Marmolada area.
Thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense. And you also alluded to the fact that you don't have to ski to enjoy yourself there. So, in addition to the skiing and the eating, what else can people do?
So many of the folks that are here with us, they're also in the wellness center. We've got, everybody has gyms, so there's lots of things, but the air outside is so fresh. Oh, it's just amazing. So lots of people go wandering, they just go walking, whether you're just going to walk uptown, the towns aren't that big. So it's easy to get around. A lot of folks will go take a taxi or a bus over to another little city. Here we have many of the other places may have an indoor tennis area. Some of these places have little indoor bowling centers, nothing like our huge bowling places, but smaller ones. And then the wellness, the massages and the physical therapy that you can do while you're here. I think that's the big part for some of these people that do not ski. They can take care of themselves. And so this is a great place to kind of revive. And the physical therapists here, you can get them for just about anything, and very, very inexpensive, a lot less than in the United States. If you even have what we call a recept, or a written thing to get physical therapy, you don't always have to do it in America. You can come overseas and get it done.
Wonderful tips. Thank you. So, how long would you recommend that a traveler plan on staying there?
You know, most folks, they say they run out of time after, 5 or 6 days. I tell most of my folks, if you've got 10 days, give yourself 10 days. You already lost a day coming, then you're going to lose a day going. Okay, so you're already there. Your week's almost, So I tell people that the minimum, I would say 10. And a lot of times I do a Southern Europe trip in 10 days. And what we do, we start out and folks fly into Stuttgart, Germany. We do the Stuttgart Spring Fest, and then we do all of the car things. We go visit the car factories, the Porsche, Mercedes. Then we go down to Munich. We do BMW. We'll go to Garmisch, and we'll do the Bavarian thing. Then we'll head over to Austria, and we'll go visit Swarovski. Then we'll head back over. We'll do the Black Forest. We'll have a castle stay, and then maybe a quick trip over to Zurich or to Strasbourg, France, and your 10 days are gone. So it's like, oh my gosh, but we squeeze it in there. But if you've got 2 weeks, you will have a lovely time.
It sounds like you can pick up some lovely jewelry and maybe a car or two.
You can actually test drive your car before you purchase it here in Europe.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
it sounds like a jam-packed time of excitement, exercise, wellness. I love this. So, when does somebody need to start booking, and what's a good time of year to go?
So, like right now, a lot of people don't want to travel in the winter time, but right now, this is the time to book for the spring. Spring Fest, that's Easter time. The Europeans, they plan 1 year ahead. Whereas Americans, we're a little bit more, spontaneous. A lot of the folks will follow me on Facebook or something because I put a lot of pictures of my food down, and they'll say, "Oh, Juanita, we want to go there. We want to eat that." And so usually 6 months to 10 months. I tell folks 6 months, you're pretty you're cutting it close, but at 10 months, you'll get good prices for your flight tickets and a little bit more planning. If you cut it close, people think you get good deals. And no, there's not always some of those last minute deals. Sometimes you'll end up having to spend more just to go during the time you want to go. Try to find the time when it's not a big vacation time for school. So if school's out, everybody's out. If you're coming to Europe, they also have different school vacations for different countries. So be aware of that. So there are times that you can choose when you know the Europeans are back at work or they don't have their school vacations. Otherwise, you're in competition trying to be on vacation the same times all of the Europeans are. If you're going to the Pacific, same thing goes there. But if you're planning now, this is now the time to plan for your spring and summer. But try not to go during that high season. The sales are out. They just finished up and still finishing up Christmas sales. So if you have a tour that you want to go on, we have some of those as well. We recommend a lot of them. I test them out most of the time before I send somebody on a different tour. But just like we have our April tour, April 19th to the 29th, we're going to be going to the Stuttgart area. We're going to do that southern realm. And so our folks are booking for that now. And then we do another southern trip for the fall festivals and Oktoberfest. That's the end of September, beginning of October. So people are booking for that now already. And we always have VIP tickets. We have you smack there in one of the best tents ever, the party tent of Mr. Grundle. And he lets us reserve tickets way ahead. I just got my seats for the spring and the fall. So we're just so excited. But this is the time now. The winter, go book for spring and summer. And in the spring, make sure you get your summer stuff taken care of and book for that fall and winter time.
Very exciting. And again, I just love your passion and enthusiasm. What is the closest airport people would fly into?
So a lot of the flights from the States, a lot of them go into Frankfurt. Those are most of your inexpensive tours. Don't think you can't travel business class. Let me tell you, those big airports, that's where you can also sometimes afford that business class seat for a little comfort. And Frankfurt is the big hub for Europe. So Frankfurt for the northern parts that you want to travel, or Stuttgart in the southern area of Bavaria or Germany or central, and then Munich for the southern area of Germany. And then, of course, Venice gets you close over to Italy. And those. So if you're not going to Rome or you're not going over to Pisa, if you're going to be up here in the northern section of Italy, near the Dolomites, if you're going to come up this way, Venice would be your closest, the Marco airport.
You are a wealth of expertise and knowledge, which is great for our audience. So we have your contact information up on the screen, but for people who can't read it or they're listening on a podcast or radio channel, what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Google us for Eurway Tours, EURWAY TOURS. Find Juanita, travel enthusiast. I'm on LinkedIn. Anytime you're looking for Europe, we have hashtag global tours and trips. You can find us, or hashtag Eurway Tours. So there's lots. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook. My kids got me onto Instagram. I'm doing little videos and stuff. I did a TikTok. We're on TikTok. But EURWAY Tours. So it's short for what I started with doing just Europe, but now I'm helping folks travel the globe. So hashtag global tours and trips will find all of our good tips and tricks and all of our tour information as well.
And also, if people want to donate or get involved with the initiative that you have there for Ukraine, what do they do?
Yes, they can go to Spot Fund and our Ukrainian effort, the Helping Hands Stuttgart. We'll be there, and that's where we'll have all the information. It shows how you can donate money either from the United States or from another country, and it's on Eurway Tours as well. So if you just Google or search on Eurway Tours for Ukrainian assistance, it is on there.
All right. You are doing incredible work, my friend. Thank you so much for all the help that you are giving and all the energy and light you're putting into this world. I wish you happy holidays and come and see us again soon.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. And frohe Weihnachten, ein schöner Rutsch ins neues Jahr. That means a good slide into the new year.
I'll take it. A good slide
We
for
so
you as well.
appreciate you. We so appreciate you for letting us also spread the word for some of the more unfortunate. So help those that may be out there around you that are not as fortunate.
Exactly. You don't have to look far to find somebody who is in need of help, even if it just means listening. So, again, congratulations and thank you for coming here and sharing your story with us today and the beautiful backdrop that you have there. I love it. And we just wish you continued success and joy.
Thank you. Bon Natal from Araba, Italy at the Hotel Avaldo.
Bon Natal. Au revoir for now. Bye. Oh, she's just lovely. Please do reach out to her. We have her telephone number here, which if you're outside the States, I think it's +01. It could be +011 850 624 4042. Her email address is her name, Juanita, JUANITA @eurway.tours. That's EURWAY.tours. And again, the website is www.eurway.tours. So I say this so many shows, please reach out to the people who are here. They're giving their time, their expertise. They want to hear from you. Go over to LinkedIn right now and look up Juanita and connect with her. You will never know in life where a connection can take you in the future. Get involved with volunteering, not just at this time of year, but throughout the year. I do a lot of work with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. It's so rewarding. So thank you again. Our next show is coming up. It is the power of etiquette and manners. And I also want to share with you, if you are following me on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, we are celebrating our team members at USA Global TV and Radio. We're celebrating our guests. We're celebrating our sponsors. And you'll see over the next few weeks a number of awards that are coming out to celebrate people who are making a difference here and in the world. And I am announcing, nobody knows this yet, but we will be having an awards ceremony inviting all those who receive an award. So if you are one of our top fans, if you are one of our guests, you're one of our team members, keep an eye out for an award that might be coming your way soon. Thanks again. Please do join me with Mr. Philip Sykes, principal and founder of the British School of Excellence, and our two guests on our show coming up right after this. Bye for now.